Hey everybody, welcome to episode 88 of the Toys for Games podcast. We're recording this on not Thursday, like I said in the limited edition, but rather Tuesday, September 13th, 2016. Brownie points for those of you that caught that and already furiously tweeted at me to tell me how wrong I was. I love you guys. I am one of your hosts, Josh Brown. And as I have already alluded to by saying the word we, and because of my tweets earlier in the day, I have a returning co-host. That's right. I am not doing the show solo ever again. Okay, it didn't go as bad, but I know it was painful to listen to. So
I listened to the first 30 seconds and gave up.
Yeah. I was telling Colin, like, I'm looking in a mirror and I don't have headphones on and I'm just talking and I started to feel super crazy.
Sure.
Because, like, who am I talking to? Nobody. And I'm trying to have a conversation with nobody. It was weird. Returning co-host Jason Greer. What's up, Jason?
Good evening, Josh. How are we doing tonight?
Fantastic. As always.
Excellent.
The Toys Life Gods are smiling down on us today.
They are.
We prepared to record on Tuesday this week ahead of time. We knew it was going to happen. We did not know we were going to stumble into Tuesday being such a big day for the Toys to Life genre and community. It's just how things work with us, man.
We do what we do.
It's our kind of luck. You got home safely?
I do need to start the show with an apology.
Okay.
To you. Because of last night when I sent you the massive umbrella video. Did you actually watch it?
Yeah. No, that was the most frightening thing I've ever seen in my life.
I tagged it in that site for life, so that's on you. That's on you. But I laughed so freaking hard. And I'm like, I really need to send this to Josh. And I'm like, trying to figure out how I'm going to do it. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to tweet it out and see what happens.
I mean, my fear of just, like, letting go of the umbrella and causing bodily harm to other kids, like, is a real phobia that I have. Sure. Not once had I ever considered the possibility of being dragged underneath the umbrella by something or someone that I can't see.
Oh, my God.
I had a slight meltdown when I saw that. I'm like, that's the worst thing. Like, I've seen, like, just, videos of just giant rainbow parachutes and kids doing their things with it. And it's like, okay, that's frightening because I'm thinking about it and I'm getting super anxious about it. But you add that extra element of fear like that little video did. Oh, boy.
You got sucked under there quick.
Oh, I had to watch it a second time because, like, I'm not even sure I saw what I just saw. Like, is this... Yeah, somebody grabbed him or something grabbed him and he was gone. Horrible.
So funny.
You're the worst. Absolute worst. You made it home safely from PAX?
I did. No issues on the trip.
I'm surprised.
Which, I think the airport got confused because Jason number 2 got like a 3-hour delay or something.
Yeah.
So.
That's what happened when both Jasons are in one city at the same time.
Right.
Just the universe gets all mumble jumbled and
something's bound to go wrong.
Yeah.
It was weird getting back in the middle of the afternoon, and I don't know, I just didn't like it. But it was good to get home.
Yeah. So what'd you think of Seattle? It was the first time that you were in the Pacific Northwest. I
was upset it didn't rain the whole time.
Right.
But we didn't really get to see much. It was in and out.
Sure.
But it was still nice.
Yeah.
But it was a nice little city there. We got to see the Space Needle.
Mm-hmm.
Learned you cannot take left turns at all.
Yeah, the state of Washington permits or doesn't permit left-hand turns.
Yeah, you have to make 3 right turns in order to go left.
At least.
Parking garages are interesting.
Now, okay, so I don't know if you listened to last week's show, Jason. I assume you did not.
I listened to 10 minutes of it. That's all I could get into today.
That's fine. I don't blame you. Look, 10 minutes is probably 10 minutes more than you probably should have. But I promised the people on the podcast last week that I wasn't going to tell stories from PAX because I didn't feel like it was fair for me to tell stories from packs without you being able to interject and add your perspective to them.
Sure.
So the parking garage story.
Yes.
I feel like that needs to at least be told.
So we take this parking garage and we forget what day of the week it is and all that kind of stuff. And because apparently this isn't set up to it's set up that they have to have a person there because they're not, apparently in the 21st century we can just do parking garage by a credit card.
Sure.
So anyways, it closed.
It was Sunday.
On Sunday at 8 o'clock.
Right.
Versus 10 o'clock the other days.
Mm-hmm.
So we get there at 8:30 after our panel, and so it's closed. So it said in order to get your car unlocked, you have to walk 2.5 blocks or so, a block and a half, whatever it was. Get this key card. You have to leave.
We're with another family.
Yeah.
Who
drop
also
your license off.
was locked in.
Yeah. Drop your license off with them, and then get this key card thing. And we think what Matt said the card said, like 1 and 2?
Yeah.
Like key card 1 and 2, and it was one card. I don't really know what's going on with it. But so walk back then. You, me, and Matt, and Colin and Val stayed back at the other park garage place. And we get there, and we're at this other couple, and they're like, what level you at? And they're like, levels are 1, 2, 3, and 4. And they're like, we're at level B. Like 2? And they're like, no, like B. And we're like, what the frick? There's a B? And so open the thing, and lo and behold, there's a B. The basement. It's like, all right, so we send them down to the basement. We're like, all right, we'll meet you at the gate to go out, and we go up, get in our car.
Now, granted, the confusing part about this is when you come into the parking garage, you can only go up.
Right.
From the direction that we came in every day.
Vehicle. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we get back in the elevator again. Have to use a key card to get in the door and into the elevator. And do we have to tap the key card in the elevator too to make it work or something?
To open the door to get into the elevator room.
But didn't it take us a couple button pushes to get the elevator to move?
Yeah, I just think Matt wasn't pushing the button correctly.
That's probably true.
Yeah.
So we get up to the car, come down, we sit there, and you're like, how the fuck are they supposed to get up here? And we're looking around, we're like, I have no, we know that we took them to their level, we know there's a B,
Yeah.
So then you're like, I'm gonna run back up. So you ran back up, went down some steps,
3 flights of stairs.
Couldn't get to the other side where they were. You could see them, right?
No, I couldn't even see it. I was just a locked door.
Oh, that's right. And so then you came back up and told Matt, and Matt's like, all right, well, maybe we'll just go outside and then start the process over again, pull the car out, go back down the elevator, meet them, and then come back up.
Yep.
All right, sounds good. So tap thing, goes through the gate closes. Before we're out in the street, a little space there before the sidewalk. Matt goes around, starts the whole process, goes down. While he's down there, also his car pulls up from behind us and unlocks the gate. We're like, who the frick are they and how they get a card? Because we had the only card because we had to wait for somebody else to get the card in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, okay. And then you're probably well, they probably have a monthly pass and get the card. We're like, all right. He's like, why? We have nothing to do. He's gonna pull around and go around the block. And I'm like, all right, well, here we go. So he's gonna start texting Matt, and I was like, I guarantee you, as soon as we pull out, Matt's gonna come back out the elevator. So he pulls to the right and opens the door, and there's Matt. And we drive him by. Bye, Matt. So I call him and I'm like, just stay there. We'll come pick you up. And I was like, we'll explain what's going on. He's like, that's fine. And so then we go down first intersection. Can't make a right turn. All right, go to the next block, and then you go and make a right, and then you go to make another right. Start coming back up, and I wasn't gonna say anything, and you just turned down the block. I was like, maybe he knows something I don't. I'm just gonna let it happen. Like, is this the right block? I'm like, no. Remember, we have to skip a block. And I crap. So I think we hit every single stoplight too.
Yeah.
So we go back around, come back up second time, and I'm like, don't turn to this one. And so we go out, make a turn, pick Matt up, and he's like, what took you so long? I'm like, nothing, don't worry about it. So we go down, and then you go turn, and then you turn down the wrong block to go get the meet Val and Colin, and then we had to go around a loop again. Then we finally make it over there. And Val said, I think it was, 3 train cycles, I think?
Yeah, 3 different trains went by.
Yeah. all in all, I think it was a 45-minute process from the time we first walked up to our parking garage.
Yeah.
Time we finally got out. But it was, we got a nice little small tour of the city.
Yeah, it was a nice condensed little go around a couple block radius.
And then we went to some diner place, which was like a diner but nice and not at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
All you had evil villain chairs at the bar.
Yeah.
I really wanted those.
One of the it was ranked the best 24-hour restaurant in Seattle by the Food Network.
The Food Network.
Yeah.
And then an infamous quote went down. If you follow Colin, make sure you tweet him. If you don't follow Colin,
At
tweet him
PDX_geek.
At PDX_geek.
Mm-hmm.
He says, and I quote, "All Disneyland food sucks." Or all Disneyland food is terrible. It's all cafeteria food.
You lost your mind.
What the frick are you talking about?
I have never seen a light switch go on and off so quickly. I
immediately grabbed my phone, text Brett the quote. Was half expecting Brett to call in, the official Disney plane and come up. And Brett, I was like, texted Brett. I'm like, get him, Brett, get him. And all Brett was like, no, he did not. I'm like, oh, he absolutely did, Brett. He absolutely did. So we have to take him some time. And okay, here's the thing. Even if it was just cafeteria food, it's still great cafeteria food.
Yeah.
Even they were like quick serve stuff. So I don't know what you ate, but you are.
Did we even confirm that he was actually in Disneyland when he ate?
Yeah, no.
Because we had when you and myself and Matt were down there with Brett, we ate at this one place in Tomorrowland, and it was cafeteria style serve,
sure,
where you just go around and you pick what food you want, you throw it on your tray, then you go up and you pay for it, type of thing. But that was still pretty good food, all things considered.
Yeah. So I told him, I was like, what did you eat? I was like, even a corn dog is like cafeteria food, but the corn dog wins freaking awards.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't even have a corn dog. I'm like, what the? So I told him, I was like, I need you to come with us. And no, when we go, all I do is eat. That's all I do.
Right.
So just know you'll get your full range and chance of eating food because I just constantly am eating when I'm at Disneyland.
He said he didn't get a churro.
I'm at the point now. Yeah, I'm at the point now that I realize I love all the rides. Don't get me wrong, but I'm more excited to eat food the entire time.
You sound like somebody who has an annual pass to Disneyland.
Pretty much. I would if we didn't have friends in high places getting us the
right.
or discounted.
Yeah. So that made dinner that night interesting for sure. I couldn't believe he said those words to you of all people.
Ordered a Monte Cristo.
Mm-hmm. You didn't share it with Matt this time.
I did not. Well, to be fair, the Disneyland one, if you eat a Monte Cristo by yourself, that's impressive. At Disneyland, it's a lot of food. So yeah, I was like, I'm just getting one by myself, and Matt got one. And Josh makes fun of us all the time because Matt and I get the same thing for lunch every single time.
You didn't prove me wrong this trip.
We got one time we got differently than all the other times we got the same thing. But yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah.
Caught a frick ton of Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
I think when I counted through my journal, I think I caught like 125.
Drowsies?
Well, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But, and here's the thing. Jason number 2 says a lot of drowsies, like where he's at, and I hear a couple other people like that. I really hope they did it on purposely and made drowsies plentiful in Seattle because the pun is so good.
Yeah, I feel like that's intentional.
I feel like it has to.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was good fun catching a bunch of stuff. Like first, I pull my phone out. First thing I see when we're at PAX is a Lickitung, which I didn't have. I'm like, this is going to be a grand freaking time. And the best we were at where we ate Buffalo Wild Wings. We were like smack dab between two Pokestops. So I dropped where you and I both dropped lures there. And that was a good time. The waitress there was all excited that I was on Team Yellow. So it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Question.
Yeah.
Do you think she was just being friendly, or do you think she was being a little bit flirtatious?
Because
I have this ongoing thing with Amy about how I never get hit on ever, and it's happening all the time now.
She didn't talk to anybody else but you.
Right. And was like always checking on stuff.
She didn't talk to Colin. She didn't talk to Matt. Like, you were also at the head of the table.
Sure.
So you were easier to access. But I had my phone out and I was playing Pokemon. She didn't say one word to me about Pokemon.
She touched my shoulder like 5 times too.
Yeah.
Which is also a waitress thing to do.
Right.
But I don't know.
There might have been some flirtation there.
Who knows?
It was definitely... Again, she was talking to pretty much only you.
Right. She was all excited I was getting the dessert thing.
Yeah.
And then she came and apologized about the Mountain Dew hose being broken. How do you break one soda hose? I don't understand that. But
well, because they're all individually have individual lines to their collective soda tanks.
It's just weird. What just one breaks, but
well,
who knows?
Aggressive Mountain Dew pours, I suppose.
But it was fun. Stayed with Matthew at the hotel.
Yeah.
My good old friend, the Holiday Inn.
We didn't even have to pick on Matt this time because Val was taking care of it.
Dude, Val was relentless on Matt. She said that on purpose, but my goodness. She yelled at him, told him to get out of the car. She told him to go home.
No,
what was the other one?
My favorite was when we were talking about Collection Crossing. And he said, it's not ready yet, still working on it. And she just looks at him dead in the eye and said, well, whose fault is that?
It's like, whose fault is that, Matt? like a half an hour before our panel.
Yeah.
Tearing our panelists down. Yeah.
It was tough to prop him back up after that.
True.
At one point, he also walked away from us.
That's true. We legit thought he walked away, and we're like, where the fuck did he go? He went down the escalator pretty quick.
Yeah.
And then he's like peeking out from behind a pillar. What are you doing, big guy?
Oh, Matt.
Also decided if I'm in Seattle, I found a new Twitter account I'm going to launch. And as for the bathroom codes for the malls, because all the bathrooms are locked by a PIN access code.
Yep.
Because I guess they want you to either A, being paying customer, or B, just trying to deter public people or whatever come off the streets.
Yep.
So A, you just go ask a retailer. Most people probably don't even give a rip. B, you ask somebody who who's around, probably everybody knows. Or C, just stand there and wait for somebody to come out and then just go in.
Yeah.
Seems like I don't know, waste of time.
The system isn't perfect, but even Buffalo Wild Wings had the code on their door.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and you had to go into the restaurant.
Yeah.
And down these steps to get to it. So I feel like anybody at the front desk would deter you from doing that.
Sure. Especially if you just walk in and just go straight downstairs to the bathroom.
Right.
But, I like the idea of a Twitter account to leak those out. I feel like some good could be had with that.
Yeah.
Saves people from having to talk to other people and get codes. Saves, trying to remember the codes. Yeah, it was fun. It was a shorter trip for you. You got in late Friday night. You
very close to skipping.
Yeah, it was close there for a second.
Yeah.
But you stepped off the plane. I believe your first words to us were, stereotypes are based on facts.
It's science. It's just science.
And we were like, oh God, what is this guy about to say? Because this could go several different directions, and it's late, and he's tired, and I don't know what's about to happen right now. I don't know what kind
already way too many people in flannel. There was a guy and a girl in flannel and hipster outfits, just hardcore making out in front of the freaking pickup spots, blocking other people from getting in.
Sure.
There was a giant freaking Bigfoot painted mural in Seattle Airport.
Mm-hmm.
It was raining. I'm just saying.
10 minutes into Seattle, and you're just every stereotype about the Pacific Northwest is true and accurate.
It's 100% accurate. Goodness gracious.
It was good. How'd you think our panel went?
Panel went pretty good.
Yeah?
I was happy with it. It was very chill, so it was fun.
Yeah, we definitely had fun. There was not the pressure that I felt before.
Sure.
It felt like we were talking to friends, and we had some good audience participation with it, which I thought was cool. And a lot of people came up afterwards and told us how much they enjoyed it. There's one lady who said that, she comes to all the PAXs, she goes to lots of panels, and this year, this panel was her absolute favorite panel that she attended because it was fun and lighthearted, and so I mean, shout out to the people that enjoyed it because that was cool.
Yeah.
Did you catch the second panel? Did you happen to watch that?
I watched 5 minutes of it when I was landing on the plane.
Okay.
That's all I got to watch because I had to get up and try to find the buses and all that kind of stuff.
Sure. Fair enough. I think it's still archived, so just saying.
Yeah, I'll have to go back and watch it. Jason number 2 is on it, so I really don't feel like watching it, you know?
Yeah, he tried to take it over, but I'm like, nope. No, sir.
What TJ's on it, I want to support TJ, so
right.
it's a hard.
And Lauren's on
position.
it, you know.
Right.
Yeah, Lauren and TJ kind of outweigh the fact that Jason's number 2's on it, so.
Yeah.
Good times, Seattle. Had a lot of fun.
Yeah, we met with Lone Goldfish.
Yep.
And Aaron.
Yep.
Wester. I can never even say it. Westosaurus.
Westosaurus.
Sounds good.
Sure.
XT. So met him several times. Ran into him multiple times.
Yeah.
General Mills was there with the giant Reese's Puffs thing. Still have no idea why they were there, but it was awesome nonetheless. Gave us like 8 boxes of Reese's Puffs, which is fantastic.
Yep. That's all the kids ate last week for breakfast.
Dude, I ate all this week. But yeah, it was good. My favorite part about it, though, I was really bummed it didn't get stopped. Just packing all those in my one little backpack. Because my backpack was a couple of clothes, my laptop, and then like 8 boxes of Reese's Puffs. Right. And I was really hoping that like security was going to say something. But they didn't. I don't think I said anything about on the flight home that morning. They were super packed that day. Super packed.
Really?
They were very, very overwhelmed. They were not ready for that many people that quickly, I think.
Sure.
So they were going to like plan C or D on the security thing. So they were like opening up these whole bunch of different lines. They ended up having the guy with the dog just constantly walking through the line of everybody. So he's constantly walking through. I went to security. I didn't have to take my shoes off, my belt off, my laptop out of my bag, just put the bag on a thing, and then walk through just a standard metal detector. It was like super like pre 9/11 security. And they were just trying to get people through. So it was really interesting. And then like it was just weird. And like I'm not saying the security should like stereotype, but I'm saying like you have to kind of know who your target is, know who's not your target. And like there's some like they were letting all of us go, and they kept stopping this like 92-year-old man like scanning stuff, and they scanned him like 3 times. I'm like, guys, you know he doesn't have anything. Like like meanwhile you're letting 5,000 people through because you're letting this one guy checking him like 5 times, and I'm like, whatever.
Just don't be so obvious about it, guys. Is what we're saying.
Yeah, like geez Louise. And so yeah,
you can never be too cautious, Jason.
That's right.
You've had busy weekends nonstop since then.
Yeah, it's still not stopping.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the PAX. Or I went to Penn State first, right?
Yep.
Then PAX next weekend.
Yep.
Then went to Bristol, Tennessee last weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Going up to Penn
Did you
State.
drive to Tennessee?
Yeah.
How far is that?
We did 6 hours one night and then 2 hours the next day. So
again, in my head, I cannot wrap my head around how close everything is in the East Coast.
Oh yeah, man.
I'm thinking Tennessee, you have to drive, or you have to fly. It's so far away.
No. Virginia is the worst state on the East because you blitz through states, and then Virginia takes forever and a day to go through.
You know what 6 hours gets me?
Where?
California.
Yeah?
Northern California.
Yep.
I'll cross the border into California in about 6 hours. You're like, I just went through 16 states.
Yeah. That's what it is. Then going up to Penn State again this weekend to go to the football game.
Mm-hmm.
Then Penn State again the next weekend to pick Amy up to bring her home. We have like a family reunion and stuff like that. She wants to come check out. Then I think the following weekend is the local fair near here. So I'm going to stay home for the fair. Then the following weekend, I think I'm going up to Penn State Saturday. for a football game, staying the night there, then leaving early Sunday morning to go to New York Comic Con. So I'm going to leave from there to go to New York Comic Con. Then coming home, and then the following weekend, I think I'm home. Oh wait, no, I'm not, because that's Ohio State football game. So I'm going up for the Ohio State football game. Probably staying in Penn State that weekend.
Honest question.
Yes.
Like, on your calendar, do you have a free weekend in the foreseeable future?
That would be the next available weekend.
That takes you through like October, it sounds like.
Yeah, it would be the next definitely the next Saturday I have available. At least Saturday, it would be October 29th.
As of now.
And that started September. August 20th was my last.
You're gonna be a shell of your former self here.
I'll tell you what, man.
Like, over the last few years of knowing you, like, we've talked about how much you like to travel and get away and do stuff, but you are on a scary pace right now of how much you're globetrotting.
I typically just keep myself busy, so it's nothing like normal, but it's just like the problem is I typically try to not do stuff on weekends.
Right.
So the fact that it's, doing that, that's why I'm behind on a bunch of different stuff, because typically I get all my stuff done on the weekend for the websites, and I'm not home.
Yeah. So weird. But hey, you're happy, and that's all that matters. Let's do a show, shall we?
Let's do it.
Executive producer of this show, as always, our good friend George Torres. George, welcome to Twitter. I appreciate the hashtags. Just dropping 2 different hashtags. I like you trying to be a part of the conversation and be relevant at the moment.
I wish his first tweets would have been like a voice save. That was the best.
So
that's all my mom's tweets are.
You're slowly getting there, George. You're slowly getting there. I know. Look, George, you're younger than us. I feel like you should have the social media thing down pat. My 16-year-old, he knows all about Snapchat. He knows. Have you ever dug into Snapchat?
Oh yeah, I use Snapchat all the time.
Okay, do you know about like the streaks?
Yeah, I don't deal with any of that stuff.
Okay, like he was trying to explain to me like the streaks, and it's not a hard concept, but like how obsessed people get with their streaks of snaps and everything like that.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. That's a whole culture I do not understand.
Yeah, because Amy's telling me how many trophies she has. I'm like, there's freaking trophies in
Whoa.
Snapchat?
Slow down. Yeah. Trophies?
Yep. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And so we went in, there's freaking trophies. And I don't understand it. But like some people are all about those, and I was like, I just use it to send pictures easier than trying to do freaking multi-message.
Sure. Well, what I'm trying to say is, George, I feel like you are capable of being like dominant when it comes to social media. You're slowly getting there, and I applaud it, and I love watching your progress. That's all I'm gonna say. Show sponsor Devin Lachinsky. He has a YouTube channel. He just got up and going. He posted a video unboxing of the Xbox One S console. You can find his YouTube, which I will put in the show notes as well if you prefer to click links instead of typing stuff into your web browser. YouTube.com/user/DLASCH and then the number 2. So please go over to his YouTube channel, check out what he's doing over there, support him, and thank him for supporting us as he always does. Let's see, Jason. Let's start with some Amiibo talk. We don't have much to talk about, but we have one thing to at least mention. Amiibo, part of the podcast, is sponsored by our friend Michael O'Driscoll, who you can find on Twitter at Amiibo_museum, who was very excited about some things that we're going to be talking about on the show in a little bit here. It's nice to see him pop up in the Twitter mentions, as it always is every time Michael tweets.
Indeed.
So what do we have going on with Amiibo?
Yeah, Amiibo, this week going on, Jason and Lauren talked about, or finally showed off they're doing their Customs for a Cure event again. Mm-hmm. So that is coming up October 1st. You can head to NintendoWire.com if you want to get some more information on that. They are currently accepting donations. for the thing. Why isn't this not pinned? Come on, guys, you should pin that to the top of your account.
Yeah.
But they
Rookies.
yeah. They are accepting donations currently on there. Oregon's getting ready to donate some money to stuff during their stream. The stream is always a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
They did it last year. I watched a couple of different times, but then I logged in one time and heard that there was some bet going on to make Jason sing "Careless Whispers."
Yep.
And someone decided to donate $100. So I did that real quick.
Oh yeah.
Interrupted your Taco Tuesday night. Told you how to turn in like right now.
Yep.
So that is on YouTube. I think it's on my Jason Inquires Twitter or YouTube account.
Mm-hmm.
But you can look for Amiibo Jason singing "Careless Whispers" if you
That was
like.
worth
It's
every penny.
100%.
Yeah.
I would do it no matter what, but the fact that it was just 100% charity donation.
Yep.
100% of doing it. Yeah, just search Amiibo Jason Careless Whisper as the second video. 316 views. 316 people's lives have been made because of this video. 22 likes.
Or
and one
ruined.
dislike. Yeah.
Depending on how you look at it.
So, good fun with that. So he better watch his back, because if I log in at 2 o'clock in the morning again and here's something else going on like that, you know full well, do it again.
Absolutely.
But good fun for them to go check it out. Always a good time to raise some money for a good cause.
Yeah.
St. Jude's again, right? I
Yep.
believe?
St. Jude's. Yep. Children's Hospital, Children's Network, Hospital Network, whatever the official name of it is. Yeah. Good charity work that they're doing. It's always a lot of fun, like you said. A lot of custom Amiibo from a lot of different custom artists in the community, and yeah, please, if you'd like to do so, at least check out what they have to offer. If you could help in any way, that's also very much appreciated. Our community is strong and very giving, and any way that we could give back, we like to take that opportunity. So please check them out. Again, go over to nintendowire.com for more information. Moving on. Let's head over to Lego Dimensions. Lego Dimensions is sponsored by our friend James Holian. You can find him on Twitter at Infinity Museum. Last week on the podcast, I questioned whether or not James Holian was also a fan of Doctor Who, because I know he's all about Lego Dimensions. He's super excited for Harry Potter coming to Lego Dimensions, because UK Harry Potter, it's a thing. Like, by just living in the UK, I think you have to be a fan of Harry Potter. Yeah. But I also assumed that meant he was also a fan of Doctor Who. He did respond with a tweet a couple days ago confirming my suspicions, so thank you for that, James. Greatly appreciate confirming my stereotypes. Stereotypes.
Based on fact.
Exactly. So what do we got going on with Lego Dimensions?
So obviously, 2 weeks from recording this moment, we are that far away from Wave 6 of Lego Dimensions coming here quick, and I'm very excited for that. But as far as other things going on, right now, if you're lucky enough, you might actually be able to find the Supergirl starter pack starting to show up in some stores. Had a couple of people in our community show they found it at their Toys R Us. Some people even found the Wave 6 packs, but those are all register locked. But some reason the Supergirl starter pack is not. I think there's not really concern about if someone gets Supergirl early, because there's nothing really to do with it anyways. But if you find it, I mean, if you ask for them, I don't think they're going to bring it out, because I'm sure it probably still says on the box it's for that date. But but still available for you. Again, it's been at Toys R Us, and I think someone spotted at Target the other day too. But again, it'll be coming in for you if you'd like. But if you can find it at Toys R Us, it's $40 off this week, which is nice. My big question with it going forward is whether they're going to include this one in sales or not. Amazon randomly dropped it down to $49.99 and put it back up after like 5 days, back to $89.99.
So it is a different SKU for sure.
It's a different SKU. It's a different barcode, 100% different barcode. But it still comes up in their general SKU numbers for that, I think, like their grouping. But it's definitely a different barcode.
I would hope that they don't try to differentiate between the starter packs for sales and whatnot, because you would think Lego just like wants as many people to have the starter pack as possible.
Sure. Because
then they're more likely to buy more figures and fun packs and story packs and whatnot. So if you start making like the sales only good for original starter packs and not the Supergirl starter pack, you're just going to risk losing customers.
Yeah, I agree.
And that one figure isn't worth the cost of losing a customer,
Right.
for not giving them the sale price. So I hope, but like you said, stores could do whatever they want themselves. But you would think that Lego Dimensions and WB and whatnot would try to make sure that stores knew that there wasn't a difference and go ahead and run sales on them.
Yeah, I don't foresee them trying to differentiate it, because I think that's probably all they're going to be shipping for PS4 wise. Like I don't think they'll be shipping the regular one.
Right.
But I mean, we'll see.
We shall see. It would just be weird and messy. So
yeah. And then the other thing this week, update did go live for some users. It's just the big patch for the new content. Nothing is unlocked yet, so you're not going to be able to see anything at all. But it did push the trophies and achievements out if you haven't seen them yet. So there is 9 new achievements coming Wave 6. 3 for obviously each level pack, and then 3 for the story pack. I was kind of bummed about that since there's such a huge amount of content with that. Essentially being 6 level packs is how they're really marketing it. That there would be more achievements than that, but I think it's all tied to the existing rule setup for Microsoft and Sony, for what developers can do with the achievements and trophies.
Right.
I think it's kind of weird because I think Toys of Life are different than other standard games, so I know why they have the rules set up, so it makes total sense. But I wish they kind of could give an exception for the Toys of Life things. But
yeah, because they're kind of considered DLC,
right?
And it's not standalone DLC. Like you actually need the game to play the DLC. It's not like a standalone DLC pack for another game that you could just download, like Infamous First Light. Like that was a standalone, still considered DLC, but you didn't need to actually own Infamous to still download this type of thing. But because it's DLC part of the game, there are limitations as to how many trophies or achievements they could have. So
yeah,
it's a bummer.
Yeah, and like I said, it's just a pain because it's it's a different gameplay style than all the other rest of the games. It's a completely different solution to how they're doing the game. So
right.
But it is what it is.
Yep. Beggars can't be choosers.
It's very true.
Something like that. I don't know. And of course, unfortunately, like that's going to make playing these, which are going to be new and everything like that, it's going to continue to make them feel like this isn't new game, just more continuation of the first game, which it is. But that feeling of like, oh, look at all this new stuff that I'm getting. It's just incorporated into it. So
right. Yeah, I mean like I said, because the level packs are all the same. I mean, it's the same format for all of them.
Yep.
But so I mean, you consider this a spoiler, but this is not a spoiler at all. For these achievements, you get one for completing all the levels in the Ghostbusters story pack, one for completing a quest in the adventure world, and one completing for a rule breaker. So it's the exact same format as the other ones too. Yeah. So it's kind of a pain. I wish there was some more fun creative with it, but it is what it is.
They can only do what they're allowed to do. Sony, Microsoft, we're looking at you. Change the rules.
Change.
Lego Dimensions is trying to break them.
That's right.
Moving on.
Break them ourselves.
Skylanders Imaginators. Sponsored by our good friend, who's no longer locked in the parking garage, Matt Sonnenberg. You can find him on Twitter at SCLMatt. Go over to his website, sclmatt.com. We can find everything that he's up to, especially Collection Crossing. If you ask Val, he's solely responsible for it not being up and operational at this point. So blame Matt. Because who else are you going to blame?
It's true. You should always blame Matt.
Yeah. Also, Matt, of course, is responsible for SkylandersCharacterList.com. It's a fine website where you could find all kinds of great information and pictures and whatnot about all your favorite Skylanders. So head over to SkylandersCharacterList.com.
Indeed.
What do we have going on with Skylanders?
Don't forget, head to asamatterofmatt.com too if you want to learn more.
That's right. Asamatterofmatt.com.
That's right.
It is the true homepage of Matt's first passion in the world of collectibles.
That's right.
Yeah.
So for Skylanders this week, we got a random pre-order deal from Amazon of a new Villain 5-pack. So you get 5 in the new Villain Sensei.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, they are saying exclusively you can get Chompy Mage through them. The common assumption is that it's just a timed exclusive with them. It would be something ridiculous.
Right.
But, who knows, Skylanders, anything's possible at this stage. But seems, again, it's Chompy Mage has been planned to be a Wave 3 or later release. So it looks like you're just be able to get it early through Amazon through this bundle. In addition is Hoodsicle, which is not in Wave 1. So you technically get that one. But again, that might be a future wave as well, but they're not really marketing that one, so it might just be a Wave 2 insert.
Right.
But,
yeah, and I guess we saw store exclusives last year with Skylanders, and they lasted like 2 days, so...
Right.
People relax.
Yeah.
Also, they did this with Disney Infinity last year, where we had the Inside Out bundle that Amazon offered.
Right.
Because they had the Fear exclusive, but...
Right.
He was eventually released to other stores as well, so...
Yeah. Yeah, and Hoodsicle is supposed to be in Wave 2, so that's why they're not really pushing on that, because, again, Toys R Us gets their Wave 2, like, right off the bat.
The next day.
Yeah.
Game releases on Sunday, Wave 2 comes out on Monday.
Yeah.
God, I hope that's the case. I love when they do that.
So funny. But yeah, so look forward to that. Is available for pre-order if you like now. You get your 20% discount if you have Prime. Again, the only problem is that although they have the capability, they never do Sunday release with Toys of Life stuff. So you have to get it on Monday, which is a shame. So if you want to get the villains, you have to wait 24 hours or buy double copies or something.
I ordered cutting boards last week.
Yep.
And had cutting boards delivered to me on Sunday.
Yep.
Why can I not get my Skylanders delivered on Sunday?
Pain in the butt, isn't it?
It's the worst.
Blame the postal service.
I blame Vince solely.
That's right. Yeah. Solely Vince.
Yeah.
So yeah, exciting for that. I will do a little teaser of trying to break down some wave information since Skylanders doesn't do much. We've had a couple of international retailers list some stuff that they're calling different waves. So we're slowly getting some insight into some waves. So again, this is just some unofficial information, but some stuff to look forward to for waves. First of all, I should say, again, we know we're getting 31 figures total. The Villain Sensei lineup is set, so we know the 11 what we're getting.
Right.
We got Bad Juju, Choppy Mage, Dr. Crankcase, Dr. Neurocortex, Golden Queen, Grave Clobber, Hoodsicle, Chaos, Pinata, Taekwon Crow, and Wolfgang.
Pinata is the only one still unofficially confirmed by Skylanders?
And Bad Juju.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And Grave Clobber.
Pinata is the only one I care about, so...
Yeah.
Just say yes and make me happy.
Okay. And then Skylanders Sensei, we're getting 20 of them. Airstrike, Ambush, Aurora, Barbella, Boom Bloom, Chopscotch, Crash Bandicoot, Ember, Flarewolf, Kingpin, Mysticat, Pit Boss, Starcast, and Tri-Tip. Also, pre-orders showed up internationally for a thing called Buckshot and Chain Reaction. So those are more likely names as well. And then we should be getting 4 unknown figures. 3 of those we've seen pictures of in the little icon. So technically, there's really only 1 figure that's still a surprise.
Huh.
What it could be.
That's fascinating.
Yep.
Spyro returns.
No, I don't think it's anything like that. I think it's just hasn't shown up in a leak at all.
Crushing my hopes and dreams right now.
Just being honest. Wave 1, again, single figures. Currently, they're supposed to be available for pre-order now. In weird Skylanders fashion, they announced with Target has them up, and I guess GameStop's doing them in store in their advertising for this weekend. But they're like available for pre-order now, except nobody really has them available for pre-order. But whatever, Skylanders. But Wave 1 single figures, we're getting Ambush, Barbella, Chopscotch, Dr. Crankcase, Taekwon Crow, and Wolfgang. Should be getting 2 combo packs as well. One is Wolfgang with an Undead Crystal, and then Mysticat with the Magic Crystal. We're getting that Adventure Pack with Airstrike, Earth Crystal and Observatory that we saw at the Gamescom releases.
That's gonna be a Wave 1 release.
Yes. Yep.
Wow.
Creation crystals looks to be at least 2 3-packs available at launch. Magic, Tech, and Undead. Then another 3-pack of Water, Air, and Life. Then single releases looks like we're getting Air, Life, Light, Magic, Undead, and Water. Available in the single forms of those. Might be getting an 8-pack as well. Be curious to see what that is all like. Since we're getting these different packs like that, it screams there's going to be different molds. So I have no idea what the combination is going to be like. But I'll try and get you. If you're trying to get all the molds, I'll try to keep you best buying combination as best as I can. And then the mystery chest is going to be available.
Will there be yawn crystals?
Who knows? That would be funny though. That would be funny. They put the yawn crystal mold in as a thing. I would laugh. Then the mystery chest is showing up. 1 or 2 sites showed some triple pack core characters, but they're all what we already have, like stuff from previous games. So I don't know if they're new molds. The re-release is the old one. They're gonna put in these things, but they're under the new banner pre-order. So
what?
I don't know what it's gonna be. But Skylanders, milking all that money. So those might be Wave 1 as well. Wave 2 looking like currently Aurora, Ember, Hoodsicle, Mysticat, Starcast, and Tri-Tip. Then also the Earth and Tech creation crystals. Who knows if anything else will flop in there as well. Wave 3 currently Bad Juju, Buckshot, Chain Reaction, Chompy Mage, Flare Wolf, and Pit Boss. Combo packs we're getting are Dr. Crankcase and Tech Crystal, then Pinata and Magic.
Oh, thank goodness.
Adventure packs are Boom Bloom, Unknown Crystal, and an Unknown Item. So we're getting at least Boom Bloom in the Adventure pack, it looks like. Creation Crystals, a 3-pack of Earth, Light, and Fire, as well as one of Dark, Magic, and Undead, plus a single release of Dark and Fire. So that is the current rumored thing. Again, none of that's official, and that can change at any point. That's just what it looks to be at this point. And obviously, Crash Edition, we're getting a 2-pack combo of that 30 days after release.
Is there any information on the 2 senseis that are going to be included in the adventure packs? Are they going to be sold as solo figures, or are they strictly going to be locked into the adventure packs?
Nothing on those, but probably sold an individual again.
Because they didn't break them out for the racing packs last year. Like Gil Grunt and Trigger Happy.
No, but they did for the light one, remember, with what was his name?
Oh, right. The year before.
No, Astroblast. And Sunrider.
Oh, that's right. Huh.
So I think they probably would have with Trigger Happy. They just gets to the end of the Skylander cycle and they move on.
Yeah. Speaking of the Skylander cycle, what's the counter up for boy Thrillipede?
Up to, let's see, we got 127
and counting. I honestly, I know I'm so wrong, but every time I'm in a store, I'm still looking because I feel like I'm just going to accidentally come across it. I know I'm not going to. I know it's not coming until Imaginators releases, but
it's not coming at all, Josh. It's done. It's not coming.
It's coming. I guarantee you, it's going to be good.
Coming.
Want to put a bet on it?
I will buy you 10 of them if it shows up. In the
I don't want 10.
I will buy you 10 of them.
Okay, you heard it here first. They're gonna show up on store shelves.
They're not.
Yep.
It's done.
Oh, Thrillipede, so funny. October 16th is the release date.
Yep,
it's coming up quick. Moving on, we have one more franchise to talk about, and it's a new franchise. Now, we've gone down this road before with Infinite Arms. We got all excited. We talked about it. We were like, hey, this is going to be something that we could possibly talk about as updates happen. Depending on their release schedule and how things go, we could possibly add them into being the 4th franchise to talk about on a weekly basis. Didn't really pan out because flash in the pan, they were hot one second and then kind of dropped off the face of the earth. We don't know what's going on with Infinite Arms. We know they're still around. I feel like they were probably in a hotel room at PAX waiting for us, but they forgot to send us a message that they were there waiting for us. But there's another game on the horizon that, as you said, was officially released or announced, revealed last Friday, but it didn't get any fanfare because nobody picked up on the story.
Well, it's weird. It was the company was announced back in February, I think. And they even teased what they were doing, but they didn't really fully say what they were doing. And then it was announced on Friday and stuff, and they announced some of their earner circles and like, I mean, it's weird because, let me pull it up their Twitter account has a couple of things, but their Facebook page has 2,500 likes already.
Wow.
So I have no idea what to do. But there's
I think people knew that they were developing a game, but I don't think the information about it being a Toys to Life game was revealed until just recently.
Yeah, I think on Friday they officially announced what it was.
The game we're talking about is called Lightseekers.
Yes. Yeah, Lightseekers Awakening is what their official title of it.
Well, yeah, you gotta have a subtitle because if this is the first game of many, you gotta start somewhere.
That's right.
Yeah.
First of all, go to lightseekers.com. Fantastic website. Fantastically designed.
Yeah.
That's what already clued me into this is something unique. Websites, judge a book by a cover all you want, but it looks fantastic.
Sure.
So by a new company called Play Fusion. Started out as a couple of people. They're up to 30 employees, I think it said. Let me double check.
And they have collectively they've worked on like 150 video games over the years or something like that.
Yeah, so they're about 18 months into development of it. 150 titles spanning the last 20 years. Wide variety of different games. But yeah, a whole bunch of stuff there. But it's called Play Fusion is the name of the company. Again, this game is called Lightseekers Awakening. So it is a Toys to Life centric game, but it is a little bit more unique than that. It is primarily based on mobile. Mm-hmm. So it's a iPad, a tablet and mobile game available on Android and iOS. Probably not Windows because that is pretty much dead already. But then, so there are 7-inch figures. They've only shown off 2 of them that they're calling collector quality. They're Bluetooth based that will be able to connect directly with the game. But like Infinite Arms, have 3 points of articulation as far as swapping pieces out. I should say it has multiple points of articulation, but 3 points where you can swap things in and out. So there are unique weapons that you can put in there, one for each hand, and then something you can put on the back. So either like a booster pack or a backpack or whatever they choose to come up with. So you have 3 points in there, just like the Infinite Arms. So when you swap it out, it will give that character different bonuses and everything like that, and it will show up in the game. But again, what's unique about these two is that they do have LED lights and everything like that, kind of like the Infinite Arms do, but seems to be a lot brighter as well. Yeah. And they did say that it's full RGB colors, so they can completely change the stuff around. And in one of the videos, or they talked about that you will need those lights for some solving puzzles and other gameplay mechanics. Yep. So they're not just lighting up; they actually do something in the game as well. So it actually will change different colors as far as like health damages as well.
Yeah, that was what I was super stoked about.
Yeah, so the lights serve a purpose, but they look really, really great. 7 inches tall, bright colors look great. But what makes it important is that these toys are being developed by Tommy Toys, or just Tommy, which makes a wide variety of different products. If you're following recently, you'll hear them in the news. They're the one making the Z-Band for the new Pokemon Sun and Moon, the thing with the crystals. They're the makers of that. Plus, I know they're making a bunch of those Pokeballs. I don't know if they're making all the 20th anniversary ones that are coming out this year, but they typically make those little belt Pokeball things. I think they even make the Chuggington toys, some Transformer stuff. So they do a bunch of stuff. Huge name in the toy market. So having a big name like that right off the bat is huge for that.
Yeah.
But in addition to just toys of that, like that's great in itself. But there's also a trading card game coming alongside it. You will get 5 cards, I believe it is, in the starter pack. But it's 385 plus cards available for the game. and they will work hand in hand with the game. So I don't know if you'll be able to play the game per se digitally, but when you scan it, you get in-game items, and they can be either temporary or they can be permanent things. So it just be a temporary boost, but maybe a permanent thing. But unlike Battlecast, this is actually a full-blown trading card game you can play physically. The cards actually do something. So you can play a full card game, and they say it's designed for 2 players, but you can play as many as you want. Like you can have like a 5-person battle thing, which is freaking sweet.
Yeah. They did what Battlecast should have done.
Right. And I'll get to the Skylanders comparison in a second. It's
sure.
Pissing me off how many people are saying you're copying Skylanders. But then in addition to that, and this is stuff they haven't talked about yet, there is interactions with comics, posters, and videos are saying ways you've never seen before. So I don't know if the comic they have on there looks like a version of their character. So if they're going to have their own comic line as well, or if it's just like other comic. I don't know if it's going to be like those old-fashioned games in the 90s where you just scan random items and you get points. But there's going to be other stuff you can scan and get other things as well. I should say the cards do use AR as well, so you can do some kind of fun augmented reality beyond just scanning them as well. They say it's a fast scanning thing, and if you can beat the Battlecast scanning, sign me up. Because Battlecast scanning is horrendous. So we'll see with that. And they're saying that's just beginning. Many more surprises are coming soon. So it's a highly thought out game. The gameplay itself looks pretty interesting. It's very loot based on there. They said they don't really want to make combat the focus. They kind of want a bunch of different quests. It seems MMO-ish in the sense that they said that they're constantly going to be adding more story elements as well. So it's not like you're buying one game and that's it.
Kind of reminds me of like a Diablo.
Yeah, absolutely. It is a free-to-play, they're calling it, but there are no microtransactions at all.
Right.
They're saying there's not even a store. So it's not even like you even have the option to do it. Is at least what they're saying right now. So that's kind of nice to see.
They promised hundreds of hours at the beginning and possibly thousands of hours when they're all done.
Yeah. I was curious to see what that's going to be like. But the accessories, as they call them, like anything like that they're pushing for is that it's going to be creating more content rather than needing to progress through the game.
Right.
So I think it more like a level pack Lego Dimensions where you kind of get this extra bonus stuff, but you don't need to do it. But what they're trying to avoid is Skylanders. You walk 5 minutes into it and you already hit a paywall.
Yep.
Yeah. Yes, you can beat the game, but you're not really beating the game because there's 5,000 things you have to get. But yes, there's no membership program, no microtransactions. One thing that's interesting with this that some people are complaining about mobile, that they said on there is that since you have to sign in to play. I don't know if I assume maybe you have to be connected to the internet at all times for this to work. But they said I could be wrong on that. This is just me theorizing. When you play as a character, like at your home, plug in there, it keeps a cached version of that character and setup on the game. So if you are on the go, you will be able to play continue without having to be connected to your character, so that you can actually continue playing just as if you have the toy there. And then when you connect to that toy, it will then resync each other and bring itself up to date. Obviously, like I said before, that there are some puzzles requiring you to have that toy, so some stuff you might not be able to fully get, but at least you get to play another few minutes of it without having to have the toy connected. So if you do want to kill some time,
right.
You can progressively through the game. It is currently playable on PC and Mac, but they said they're doing some compatibility testing with some other stuff, so I don't think it's going to be ready for it to go at launch, but it is something they're striving for. There's not outwardly promising it right now, just in case there are issues for it, but it would be nice if they make a desktop version of it. Another thing, unlike Battlecast, you will be able to switch between devices and platforms, so if you feel like playing on your iOS tablet, go for it, and if you want to play on your Android phone on the go for it. It'll all sync through. I assume they're going to have their own unique ID sign-in, but again, it's wide going through with that. So that is super nice to see.
Much like the BattleNet servers that Blizzard uses.
Yep. One thing they talked about, which I never really thought about this before, since a lot of information is synced with the toy itself, like you upgrade your character level, but obviously upgrade a level with the weapon itself. So if we get upgrade a weapon, I can take it over to your house, give that weapon to you for your character, and it'll be able to keep that same stats.
Mm-hmm.
That they apparently are working in a way that if you lose that toy or if it breaks, that since it's backed up online, they will be able to transfer it to a new item for you. So if you need to get one replaced, then they can back up that data for you, so that you don't have to worry about losing it. You just lost all that information that you put in.
Right.
As far as the cards go, aiming at right now 9 cards per pack. There will be rarities, thank God. And
you have my attention.
Yeah, special versions of the cards as well. Haven't gone into if it's like Skylanders, where it's like the silver version of each card, which is the dumbest thing in the world. Make rare cards and unrare cards. Don't cross them over. But again, it's not necessary to play. This is all just an extra bonus on there if you choose to dive into that part, which makes it more fun. So comparing to the Skylanders thing, this is the thing that gets me mad. Let me be clear to you Skylanders fans. There is nothing besides the fact that it's a toy that Skylanders ever did that was revolutionary. Yeah. It's the same gameplay that's been around for friggin' 90s, you know?
Yep.
It's
a dungeon crawler.
Skylanders copied everything they have in there. So to stop saying they copied Skylanders, they copied the game crawler mechanic, which people have been doing since 1993.
Yeah.
You know? And then thing, like some people are like, do we need something else? Again, Skylanders creators also think because Battlecast, it does nothing with Skylanders. So this completely integrates,
right?
But also doesn't have to if you don't want it to.
Yeah.
This is far more innovative than Skylanders has been in years. This year, there's nothing innovative. You get to play as a villain, you get to create your own, which is great, but it's not like this groundbreaking revolutionary thing.
Right.
If anything, like
create your own characters has been around for how long?
Right. Yeah. So it's like, get off your high horse, Skylanders, fans. Don't get me wrong. Again, I love Skylanders and everything like that, but don't be like, oh, they're copying Skylanders. Bull crap.
No.
And this is the thing that makes me so mad too. People are like, oh, they're copying Battlecast. No, just because something's been announced doesn't mean that, like, again, this has been in development, they said, for at least 18 months, which is before Battlecast was even hinted, okay? So, like, it just drives me nuts when something's announced, like, oh, you're right. In the last 6 months, they started, copying this. Like,
sure.
Get out of town.
I mean, also, Nintendo, when they launched the 3DS, they gave you AR cards that could do, had AR capabilities that really didn't do anything else. Sure. So, I mean, Skylanders wasn't the first to do AR cards,
Right.
Now, I will say, like, the aesthetics, like, it invokes the thought of Skylanders. It's bright, it's colorful, it does have a lot of similar looks and feel from what it looks like. Like, even the logo kind of is similar in respect to Skylanders logos and whatnot, but at the same time, you're also looking at a game development company that has been sitting back and has been able to watch what other companies are doing, like Activision with Skylanders, and has been able to take that and innovate it.
Right.
This is what's going to keep the Toys to Life genre going further, is innovation. We cannot keep going the same path that we've been going for 6 years now.
Right.
These games, everything, these franchises need to evolve. They need to develop something. They need to push forward. And, Disney Infinity 2.0, it went backwards. It did not do anything that Disney 1.0 didn't do. And in fact, it did a lot of it a little bit worse. And that ultimately led to so many people casting Disney Infinity aside because it wasn't doing anything better. Skylanders, they're constantly, every year, they're adding a new gimmick. They're trying to innovate. They're trying to add new things. We saw vehicles last year. We're seeing creation, create your own character type of thing, which is nice. Should have been around from day one with Skylanders, to be honest.
Right. The most innovative thing Skylanders ever done was Swap Force. That's a fact.
Yeah.
Beyond that, they made toys bigger. Even the Light Core was pretty interesting. That you could maybe say was innovative from some stuff with powering the NFC, but even that's been done before. But obviously not in toy mode. But Swap Force was actually pretty ingenious.
Right.
But then beyond supercharges is just vehicles in.
And LEGO Dimensions had the benefit of seeing what was going on, and they were able to take the Toys to Life genre and be like, well, we could do that, but we could make it different. We could use the figures to actually solve puzzles in the game. We could break the rules. We could allow all figures to go anywhere in the game, that kind of stuff. So if anything, like Skylanders fans, if you're upset about this game, Lightseekers, you need to realize that a game like this, or a game like Infinite Arms, or even Lego Dimensions for that matter, is going to hopefully make Skylanders better by pushing them to innovate and pushing them to evolve from what they've been doing, from to break the mold and to kind of just start fresh and start building on something else and start moving forward. That's what's going to make Skylanders better. That's what's going to make all of these games better. And that's what's going to make the genre that we all love. If you're listening to this podcast, you love Toys to Life in some shape or form. It's going to make everything better. Eventually, Nintendo is going to say, hey, we should probably do something with these Amiibo.
Right.
You would think so, right?
You would hope so.
So, games like this, yes, they are. You can't say they're copying or stealing from Skylanders. They have taken the inspiration that Skylanders started so many years ago, and they are starting to innovate on it, and they are starting to evolve the genre. This is good for that game. This will be good for Skylanders if they're smart and they want to stay around. If they want to be stubborn and they want to be stuck in their ways, this is going to be the last Skylanders game we ever have.
100%. 100%.
So get on board, Skylanders fans, with this kind of new game. I'm not saying you have to go financially support them, but trying to tear them down while pretending to sit on the Iron Throne that is Skylanders Land, it's ridiculous and it's short-minded. Like, you need to accept the fact that there are other games that are doing what Skylanders started to do, but are doing it better now, and hopefully that will make Skylanders do something different and better and improve on things.
Yep. Yeah, so they but yeah, Lightseekers.com, you can sign up for the beta they have there. They have forums if you want to jump in on that as well. But some other highlights I want to go over as well for it. Yeah, I really how they market the game for it. It says, free game unlock you've never seen before. It features an epic, ever-changing storyline that will be updated regularly. That's bolded.
Yep.
So that will...
That's straight up MMO.
Yeah, there will always be new adventures, new lands, new characters to experience. The land is called Tantos, I guess it's pronounced. Tantos. I'll think there's pronunciation on that. Show some screenshots there, showing some quest stuff like that. Looks pretty sweet, fun. Card game stuff. Each player in the game takes control of a hero. This is for the physical card game. Each player in the game takes control of a hero who uses an arsenal of cards featuring spells, creatures, items, and locations. Oh my gosh, spells are copying Yu-Gi-Oh! To defeat their opponents. The game is easy to learn, but also provides great depth for advanced players who wish to experiment with deck building and tactical play using never before seen mechanics. Love that. The game is intended for 2 players, but supports as many players as you want to play with. Love that. Mm-hmm. Games typically last 10 to 15 minutes, but can be vary based on the deck's complexity and skill of the players. Figures, one thing we didn't touch base on. Manufactured by Tommy, renowned for the quality. 7-inch collector quality digital action figures, highly articulate and posable, light up, talk, and vibrate as you play.
Yeah.
No portal needed. Collect directly to the game. Uniquely tagged and retained in-game progress. They talk, vibrate, and use different colored lights to show levels, status, and warn of impending danger and help guide gameplay. Your hero evolving in-game attributes, accomplishments, and lineage are stored in perpetuity so that your hero is literally one of a kind. So there's some pictures of like the track your progress as well. Again, they talk about the different pieces you can attach to it, and about increasing advances about track your progress in the game. And one thing they did talk about in the forums too is that they're working on a way to track your progress online, so you can also compare stuff online, which is also huge.
Yep.
So how they're wording this and how they started this development, is that they wanted to get let me pull up the quote. If we got a chance to redo anything and everything in games, what would we do differently and why? So they're trying to go back to square one. Now we've got to this phase in gameplay. What would we want to change? And it might be, I'm sure, what a lot of people talk about in their game development. But this really seems there. Because again, as I said before, they're copying elements, they're doing this or that. But the thing is that they're doing everything as everyone's been doing, but doing it all at once, doing it fair, doing it balanced, it seems like, and doing it, as far as we can tell so far, really well done. So you can say whatever you want about Skylanders, but Skylanders stuff is so disconnected from each other.
Right.
That this is all together in one. Art style looks great. Figures look great. Everything about looks great.
Everything seems super ambitious. I really hope that we're not getting ahead of ourselves and thinking, like this is the next big thing for Toys to Life, and then they end up not delivering on many of these things. Right. Because there are so many different aspects that they're trying to incorporate. But, I mean, we have to look at it as it's presented to us right now, and it's exciting. It looks fun. It sounds like it's a lot of fun. We've seen 2 of the figures. The figures look amazing.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, like, I mean, obviously not that Tommy cares that much, but the fact that they somehow got Tommy is huge.
Yeah.
Huge for right off the bat. Yeah. I would look at it completely differently if Tommy wasn't involved.
Right.
But again, they're involved with toys there. And again, we don't know how distribution's going to be. They're based overseas. So how much they're going to handle with U.S. distribution. But if this is in stores, I mean, I don't mean to speak bad because we love our friends over Infinite Arms, but they're in big trouble. Big trouble.
Yeah.
Because they're just doing the Amazon thing, which is fine, but it's going to be hard to market
Shelf
that.
Space is so important.
Yeah, and then when you have something like this, it's a big, thing with Tommy, his, research at their disposal. I mean, we'll see, but.
I mean, everybody that probably listens to this podcast and it's in the community knows about Amazon, knows that Amazon exists, and knows what kind of stuff that you could get on Amazon. But I still run into people on a regular basis that have never used Amazon once in their life, and wouldn't know the scope of things that you could find on Amazon and the prices that you could get stuff on Amazon, and know nothing about Amazon Prime or any of that. So there are still people out there, crazy as it sounds, that don't use Amazon. And those people are walking into stores like Walmart and Target and Toys R Us and, buying all the stuff. They see products on the shelf. You can't rely on just online sales of things.
Right.
Especially like this kind of stuff. Because kids aren't browsing Amazon looking for new hotness. So I don't know, man. Like this is exciting. I think we need to effort to get somebody from Lightseekers on the podcast to talk about it, because I want to know more. I think there's a lot more to discover. They haven't given an official release date yet, right?
Spring 2017.
Okay, so like you said,
it's $70 for the starter pack we know so far.
Right.
You get one of those figures, like 5 cards. I forget the whole. They haven't even detailed what all the items are.
Right.
Let me pull up here.
A weapon, I think.
Yeah, I think you get one weapon. Let me pull it up. I mean, $6.99 is a great price point. Again, keep it where it's, not blowing away. Like we said before, Lego Dimensions came out so heavy at that $100 price point.
Right.
This is kind of a nice in there. Let me.
Well, look at like Playmation. They came out on the way too high.
Way too high.
And, people shopping, they see Skylanders, they see Disney Infinity, they see Lego Dimensions. I mean, Lego Dimensions was a skosh too high. But then you saw Playmation, you're like, why would I even go that route if there's cheaper options?
Right. Yeah, so it's $69.99, 1 action figure, 1 weapon attachment, 5 training cards, and a tribute card. They haven't even talked about what that is, tribute card.
Right.
So super interesting. Again, I mean, we've talked before about adding another tentpole to our podcast, but this one, everything about it, like even the logo design, makes it seem that this is more hardcore than anything we've seen in this space in a while.
It feels fleshed out already.
Yeah. So, already making a new site for it. So, get on the ground floor there, Lightseekers INQ on Twitter. It's live now. Nothing's really there, but if you want to follow it, go for it. Getting stuff up. Hopefully, maybe Thursday.
Ooh.
I think I have Thursday night free at the moment. That'll change in the next 2 hours. Hopefully get some stuff up there. But I'm excited for it. So if you want to check it out, be sure to check on there. Obviously, it'll be talking about a lot personally on Twitter. At Jason Inquires as well.
Right. Yeah, super exciting stuff for sure. We look forward to talking more about it. Hopefully they don't just disappear and make us wait for information. So,
indeed, I'm excited. It looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I'm just so excited that there's just going to be a game that has physical toys and a card like thing, and comics are involved somehow. I don't even know. I'm just excited.
Play on your tablet or your phone, and
I really hope the PC thing would work out, Matt, because tablets games I still just don't like gaming on them. I don't like touchscreen stuff, so if they do like controller support, I'll be fine. But if they could do it and so I could play on my 30-inch iMac, that'd be great.
Great indeed. Well, with that being said, we need to move on here. We're going to do the community question of the week. We are going to award somebody a mystery box, a mystery package with 3 or more handpicked, specially curated for your likes and dislikes items sent your way for just having the best response of the week for the community question. This community question is sponsored by our friend Christopher Long from Long's Toys, who you can find on Twitter at Long83. Be sure to check out his YouTube channel, youtube.com/user/Long's Toys. I meant to make him the sponsor of the Lightseekers discussion, because I have a feeling he's going to be jazzed about that and excited to collect those things. But, I got excited to talk about it finally. So one thing led to another, and now he's the sponsor of the community question. So that's how this goes. The community question this week was, what is the biggest factor in getting you to invest in a brand new Toys to Life franchise? Explain your reasons. Lots of good answers. Do you want me to read them? Or?
Yeah, I got them.
Okay.
Yes, we got Long's Toys saying, I'm willing to give something new a try. If the buy-in point is reasonable, then if I love it, I'll go all in. TJ says they have to look awesome and I have to feel like they enhance the experience of the game and not just content paywall. Rose Up Death says, have to be a good story behind the toy figures, good gameplay, good looking figures, and maybe a connection to my past. James Holian, Infinity Museum, says, being available on game consoles, I find tablet and phone gaming unsuitable for young children to play together nicely. It's very, very true. They'll be fighting over the tablet all the time. Tariak says, mostly quality of the figures and also attachment to characters. It's why I collect Amiibo and Lego, but not Skylanders. Again, that's a huge thing. They're trying to get new characters that you feel attached to. Can be kind of hard. Evan, different kind of geek, says, I want the toys to be really cool. Each pillar of Toys Life franchises have their own unique factors, and I really like that. DMU Girl 2008 says, characters, I love particularly ones from my childhood being involved. EM Taser, I guess is how you probably say it. M. Smith says, if my nephews get into it, I will play. It's just fun being the cool aunt. Very true.
Yep.
Jeff Grimes 23, characters I already have a connection with. 2, an example, Disney. I don't think I can invest in another franchise with new characters. Tori says those figures need to look awesome on the shelf. Memorable characters make or break it. Not Harrison Mays. Blue Dragon Kaiser says the figures have to look interesting and cool. No point in buying a game if the figures look cheap. Nathan Chandler says good balance. The toys have to look great, but it's not worth buying them if the game itself isn't any fun. Billy DJ Dog says the fun factor of all the components trigger my inner child to scream about this now so colorful and whimsical. Phoenix back for fur, or Adam Tuttle, as you might also know him as. When you see something for the first time, it takes control of your every thought, then doesn't go away. That's when you invest. Angelos Giorgo says, I only bought Disney Infinity because I'm a fan of Pixar, just because of that. Warlock SOL says, for me, it would have to be a really strong franchise to get me into invest in another. Spending too much money on other things as it is. Evan Parker, the Lone Goldfish, is peer pressure. Coworker told me to try Skylanders, but now I've got you guys who keep me on that addiction train. And finally, the person that's always excluded from the prize each week, Shopkins Inc., saying depends on how close it is to the Shopkins aisle of the strawberry. I have a good I like one answer in particular.
Okay. What is it?
And I'm actually a big fan of Adam Tuttle's. Everybody else said a lot of things about balance and stuff like that, but his is pretty interesting there. Saying when you see something for the first time, it takes control of your every thought, then does go away. That's when you invest. That happened to me today with Lightseekers. And talking with Lego Dimensions. I mean, I think it's a fair representation. You know, even with Infinite Arms, some people are like kind of whatever, but then we have some fans who create a podcast for it already. Stuff like that. So I think it's fair. I mean, if you come out, and again, it's kind of the bad part of Infinite Arms too, that they came out strong and then died.
Yeah.
As long as you keep that up, that's what really gets you to invest in something.
Mm-hmm.
If they can equally pace out that news, or stuff like that. Hopefully that's something to go with this, but can even like the Amiibo stuff, even when that goes out, it was what we didn't go more than 4 to 6 weeks for a while there.
Right.
While I was in this peak of new Amiibo releases, and you finally got that taste, and then next thing you know, it was time to go again. So I think that's a fair representation for everybody. I think everybody would agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, if there's something announced that like you're suddenly excited for, but then you forget about it, and you forget like the new Animal Crossing Amiibo cards, that 50 that they announced, like. Can anybody tell me when those are being released? No. That's why you could tell that nobody cares about those. But, like, if something is announced and revealed and you're just like, I can't stop thinking about it. Like, you don't even need to read stuff, but you're just like, that was so cool. And you want to, like, tell people about it and you want to show people the video that you watched. And, yeah, that's 100% when you know that it's probably time to invest. So.
Or you make a solid trailer like Lego Dimensions Season 2.
Yeah. So good.
Best Toys Life trailer ever released. And Disney Infinities have been pretty fantastic.
Yeah.
But that whole trailer is just hype mode after hype mode.
Yep.
Like I said, leaks are what they are. They are what they are. But like I can only imagine if we didn't have any leaks and had no idea what's coming, I would have been freaking the crap out watching that trailer.
And like they gave like 6 or 7 like little hints before they released the trailer.
Right.
And that's when people start picking them apart and finding things, and it's like you guys didn't even need to do that. Yeah. Like just drop the trailer and just let the internet explode in happiness. So Adam Tuttle, congratulations! Get a hold of me. I will get you a mystery package sent your way as soon as humanly possible. So thank you for all responding. That was a lot of fun. I hope you guys are excited about Lightseekers. I think it's something to definitely keep our eye on, and like I said, I'm gonna see what I could do about getting some more information from people for this podcast specifically, so we could talk about it more than just what they've already announced. So stay tuned, folks.
If you want to follow them on Twitter, it's _Lightseekers, because just Lightseekers was taken by some guy setting it up for testing out for a Sunday school class back on August 15th, 2009.
God, that's unfortunate.
And it's so funny. Somebody else, Lightseekers _ tried tweeting him back on January 30th. Hi, do you still need this user ID? If possible, can you deactivate so I can use it, please? That's a shame.
That's funny. So, hopefully they could secure that Lightseekers Twitter handle, because they probably deserve it, right?
Yeah,
I would think so.
It's a pain too. Like, it's why you wish you could, appeal it. You can appeal it to Twitter, but no way. Twitter's interesting right now, but yeah. Hopefully they can get it at some point.
Yeah,
because that's gonna be impossible to market. Impossible.
Yeah. Oh, what's your Twitter handle? _Lightseekers.
Like on a box, it's gonna look terrible.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Oh well. Hey, it's not our fault. But we're gonna do everything we can to help out. So community rise up, help them secure a better Twitter handle. Moving on here, Jason. We're gonna do the Inquire This segment, where we have a trivia question submitted from someone in the community, someone in the audience, and they are going to attempt to stump you, the expert, with a Toys to Life related question. This Inquire This segment is sponsored by our friend Evan, aka the Lone Goldfish, who we met at PAX, had a great time hanging out with. You could follow all of his shenanigans. He's back to streaming. He's playing through all the old Skylanders games. I think he just wrapped up Giants here. Twitch.tv/The Lone Goldfish. So go over there, subscribe, and be sure to check out his streams when he does them, because they're a lot of fun. With that being said, are you ready?
I am ready.
Okay, I'm not giving you any options because we only have one to choose from, and it is Skylanders related.
All right.
This one was sent in from Lewis. It was a few weeks ago. He says, here is a question to challenge Mr. Inquire this. When you place Skylanders Chase variants on the portal and superchargers, what is displayed along with the Skylanders name?
So,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
No.
There you go. We're copying each other. So when you put it down, what pops up on their name? Or what pops up on the screen?
On the screen, yeah. Along with the Skylanders name. Like what word or what phrase?
Oh, just special, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. You tell me.
I think it's just special, if I remember correctly. I think the only variant I've actually put on the base was my the hot streak one.
E3, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's just a sport special, if I remember correctly.
You are correct.
Yes.
I didn't even need to give you the 2 hints he listed.
Oh, what was the hints?
Hint number 1 was it is different in 2 of the games, and the other 3 games it is the same.
Oh.
And there is one that is different than the rest, that version of the game. So, Spyro's Adventure...
Didn't they used to show like an icon or something?
On Spyro's Adventure, the NFC chips for the variants were not coded differently than the standard characters. For Giants, it said rare, except for the 2012 Employee Edition Light Core Prism Break. And then Swap Force, Trap Team, and Superchargers all say special. Now, do you want an extra credit question?
Ooh, go for it.
I know you're a fan of extra credit.
Love extra credit. Only way I got through college.
Which Skylanders Spyro's Adventure characters have a different term next to their name in Superchargers instead of Series 1?
Holy crap.
Now, I'll give you this hint. You don't need to list specific ones because there are special groups.
So which characters from first Skylanders game say something different?
Have a different term next to their name in Superchargers instead of saying, quote, Series 1.
Oh. The dark ones? I'm going to say that.
The Legendaries?
No, wasn't there like Dark Edition ones too then? Or they?
There was no Dark
Edition.
Edition
For the 3 Legend. Yeah.
Yes, the Legendaries and Dark Spyro.
That's what I was thinking.
All say special next to their name. The sidekicks also have a special term, and they're just labeled as mini. Yeah.
The more you know. That's a good question. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah. He says, I hope this proves to be a good question for the ever-impressive, often imitated, but never duplicated Jason of the Inquirer. So thank you, Lewis, for that great question. Jason knocked it out of the park to begin with, and the bonus points got him stumped. So we appreciate that. If you guys have trivia questions for Jason, send them our way, podcast@toysforgames.com. Speaking of email, it's time for the email part of the show. This is going to be good. I've read a few of them. I like them. I like what we got here.
Good.
Starting off, this question is from, or this email is from Brian. It says, Dear Seekers of the Light, will you be buying a new tablet for the upcoming game Lightseekers? Also, what hardware do you use for mobile gaming? What issues do you have with it? As always, thanks for all that you do.
For mobile gaming, I just have my Nexus 6P that I use. Sometimes Bluetooth over a controller. And then same thing with, I have an iPad Air 1, maybe. so I just use that for any kind of tablet gaming that I want to use. Right. Still using that, but haven't had the need to upgrade it yet. So probably in a year or so.
Sure. I bought an iPad about 3 years ago. Whatever the newest one was at the time. I forget I have it sometimes, to be honest with you.
I only use my iPad like legit on trips.
Yeah. I definitely don't use it for gaming. The only time I've really got into gaming with it was forgetting the name now. The card game from Blizzard.
Hearthstone.
Hearthstone, yes. I used it for Hearthstone a lot. But since then I haven't really have done much with it. Right now, like my phone, my iPhone 6 Plus is my primary mobile gaming device. So, yeah, I don't know if I'll upgrade or not. It depends how the game runs. You know, that'll be the most important thing. So,
sure,
we shall see.
We shall see.
Next email. This is from Alex at Atari Alex. Dear Josh and Jason, as a follow-up to my question from last week, and I'll stop right there because I think the last 4 emails have been follow-ups to his questions from the weeks before. So if this is a intentional thing that you're doing, Alex, I have finally caught on to how you're operating these emails.
I haven't caught on. That's funny.
Kudos for getting me to read that for like 4 or 5 weeks straight now. So, if you could choose one Nintendo console to get a re-release with packed-in games a la the NES Classic, and have a company line of Amiibo based on the games included, which system would you choose? Which games would you choose to include, and why? Now, I'm going to save his answers because he had a really good answer. So I'm going to ask you first.
Game Boy frickin' Advance. The Nintendo console.
Which games would you throw in that thing?
I don't even know.
All the good ones.
Yeah, all the good ones. I just remember so many games that like there was very few Game Boy Advance games. And this is before like reviews. Mm-hmm. Like this was just I for some reason had a high success rate of picking good games to play.
Sure.
But it was like the first time I felt like I could play a bunch of different like genres and stuff on there. I remember playing Golden Sun on there, all the the Pokemon games, obviously. Mm-hmm. There was a sweet Dragon Ball Z game that was out then, and it was just that perfect. Like, the graphics felt great enough for me. Like even still, I would still play a Game Boy Advance game. So like, this is all I need.
Right.
You know, just perfect was what I want in there. Obviously, had the colored background light up so you could play in the dark and everything. My big man hands appreciated the wide D-pad on it all. I love the GPA.
Yeah.
Love it. I still play. Okay. I play GBA ROMs all the time on my phone. I don't feel bad about it one bit. But you know, it is what it is.
Any law enforcement out there listening, he's obviously just joking.
Come after me, bro.
I would pick 64. I want a 64 bundle. Obviously, sure. Mario 64, Ocarina of Time. I mean, I think the obvious answer is probably Super Nintendo because it probably has like the best catalog of games. But
sure. If they did an N64 one, they better freaking put the expansion port and let it plug in there to get like more games next year.
Absolutely.
That would be the funniest thing of all time.
Yeah, have fun with it. Also, like GoldenEye 007. Like, you need to have that game in there. Amiibo of, like, Oddjob. Splattered with, like, paintballs and big head mode and whatnot.
One of the developers is on Lightseekers.
Yeah, there we go. Getting closer. Alex, his answer, he said, with Virtual Boy, or with virtual reality being all the rage nowadays, I think the obvious answer is Virtual Boy. We could get some Bomberman and Mario Tennis Amiibo. He says, I'm just joking. My serious answer would be the GameCube. It gave us so many awesome, creative, underappreciated games that older fans would love to revisit, and younger fans need to be introduced to. Just a few games they could include are Super Mario Sunshine, Luigi's Mansion, Mario Kart Double Dash, Pikmin 2, Fire Emblem, Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, Sonic Heroes, Pokemon Coliseum, Pokemon XD, Soul Calibur 2, Metroid Prime, Donkey Konga, no, Kirby Air Ride, Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door, and perhaps most importantly, Super Smash Bros. Melee. Maybe then we could get an Ice Climbers Amiibo. Going back to the 64, Pokemon Snap needs to be in there. Just a whole line of Pokemon Amiibo. Done.
Dude, friggin' when you brought Pokemon Sun and Moon is on crack cocaine. This game is so bonkers.
And I love them for it.
Like, I always think, like, all right, change something for it. Like, this is fun. We get to, like, running and we get 3D elements and, like, ramp. But this game was just going off the freaking rails.
Might as well.
Goodness gracious. But, yeah, also, did you ever play Virtual Boy? I think I played it, like, once.
Yeah, a couple. I had a friend that had it. I never had one myself. Yeah. I remember playing Mario Tennis specifically.
Sure.
So, DMU Girl, 2008, she wrote in and said, "Hey guys, here are this week's rapid fire questions. Crack your knuckles, let's go. Lego Dimensions. From all franchises, are there any mistakes you feel Lego has made in choice of which characters they made into figures? As in, any they missed or any you would have not included?"
Jurassic World and that ATU agent or whatever is just so random.
Yeah.
They could have swapped out for another big name person or something, but it's a strange addition.
I mean, there is a strong female character in that movie that would have made a great Lego figure.
Sure.
Also, the guy that helps Chris Pratt actually train the Raptors. Like,
sure.
I feel like he would have been great because at least he was a character and not just a generic figure.
Right. Let me see. I don't know if I would have had. I mean, I wish we would have got more Wizard of Oz characters.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a whole entire separate question. I can't speak of Ninjago or anything like that.
Ninjago has mistaken itself.
Simpsons is pretty good.
Yeah.
Lego Movie is pretty good. Lord of the Rings was even pretty good. DC Comics is pretty good. Yeah, I mean, nothing else is just the ATU age or CTU, whatever. What's CTU? That's 24. Yeah,
the random generic.
Just bro.
Person. Yeah.
The guy.
He feels like he's like one of those characters in the background
that's what it was.
That's just eating a sausage and like gets surprised during the middle of the game. Get out of here. Most Lego video games have some wacky characters. Example, Steven Spielberg in Lego Jurassic World. What do you think the wacky characters and dimensions could be?
Man, it could be a couple of them in there. I don't. If they introduce Star Wars in there, we didn't get Matt the Radar Technician with the Force Awakens game. So.
God, what a missed opportunity!
What a huge missed opportunity!
That's ridiculous.
I'm still holding out for like it being like the last piece of downloadable content just put out for free.
Matt Groening with The Simpsons.
Yeah,
he could be fun.
Yeah, I don't know how else it could be.
Yeah. Good question.
That's a good question.
How about we move on to Skylanders? One rapid fire question. How many starter packs do you think you will have to buy this year? Because do you think they will sneak in a different starter pack like the Golden Hot Streak?
Oh, I hope so. I was thinking about today at Toys R Us. I was like, oh, I can't wait. It's gonna be a Kingpin, and they're gonna change him somehow. Please, please, Skylanders, do it.
Make it like an ice looking one.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so theoretically you just need two, and you only need to get the Crash one if you just want to wait 30 days. Just buy the Dark Edition and you're done.
Right.
So I'm buying 3, plus if there's a Chase one, but
the regular, you're just getting the regular one also.
Yeah. For
video and unboxing sake.
Yuppers.
Nice. Next email is from Green Armadillo. It says, Dear Josh and Jason, my daughter is nearly 4, and her favorite Toys to Life figures are girls and characters she recognizes. So if it was up to her to pick through the sea of options, Activision trademark pending, in the used Skylanders bin, she would, no kidding, come home with fists full of stealth elves. Or is it stealth elves? Anyway, point being, your kids have always been able to make suboptimal choices and regret them later. And maybe we're all wrong, and what she really wants is another version of Stealth Elf anyway. I am concerned about lockdown battle classes. I am more concerned about lockdown skills that require 2 matching sensei. $30 in purchases that are permanently locked to that one battle class, and that you don't get to reset later if you want to play as 2 different sensei who give skills for some other class. Who wants to take their Crash Edition starter, which comes with 2 brawlers and 2 sorcerers, and use the Fire Crystal to triple down on the same class you have full skill access out of the box? Meanwhile, I am suspicious about how aggressively the game will market creation options that require additional purchases by putting them in the menu where your kids can see but not use them. Most Toys to Life games allow you to have good experience with the starter pack and don't sell you things that require you to buy even more things to use properly. I have major doubts about Imaginators, and I suspect that locked battle classes will only be a very small part of that problem. Thoughts?
Yeah.
It could get ugly.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw it with the first game where you would come to a door and it would not let you access it unless you had an element, a Skylander of the correct element to go through that door.
Right.
Immediately, right off the 3 minutes into the game, you come across one of those doors and you're like, oh, you need a life element or whatever it was. And you're like, crap, I don't have one of those. How am I going to get in? Oh, I have to go to the store and buy one so I can get in the door.
And like, I feel like, wasn't last year's the first gate you saw? It was literally last year, 2 years ago. First gate was like an element they didn't even have out yet. Like, I feel like it was something that was like you couldn't even get the first one yet.
Oh yeah, that was 2 years ago. That was Trap Team.
Was it Trap Team?
Yeah, because last year they didn't have any gates locked to elements and stuff.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
It was 2 years ago.
Yeah. The dark one. Like, they had, like, the dark element and, all kinds of stuff that was like, well, these aren't out for, like, 6 months. What am I supposed to do?
So I remember I'm like, all right, I play through, I'm going to unlock everything as I go. And then I remember, like, I'm like, what the fudge? Get the first one. Yeah.
And which, in their head, they're like, they'll come back and they'll play this in 6 months when we release it, and this is adding longevity to the game. And in reality, it's just like, no, that's super annoying. So, yeah, I wouldn't put it past them. I hope it doesn't get gross and egregious with, like, menu and, locking you out of stuff and aggressively trying to sell you stuff. But at this point, can't be trusted.
Yeah.
Sea of options.
Sea of options.
Next email. This is from Tashmon. He says, "Hey, Josh and Jason, it's me, Tashmon, again. Let me just start by saying, wow! Lightseekers might be my most anticipated thing of 2017 already. I love the concept, I love the art style, and I especially love how meaty of an experience it sounds like it will be. The radio silence on the part of Infinite Arms deflated my hype by a lot, but I could safely say that, if all goes well, Lightseekers can easily take its place." And that's, like, honestly, this is Infinite Arms' fault for leaving the door wide open for somebody else to come marching through.
Yep.
Even if they didn't, like, have anything to share, like, they should have been actively marketing continuously.
They're not doing anything on Twitter. Like, they retweeted, our friends over at Infinite Arms, Arm Yourself, the podcast.
Yeah.
The amazing chalk drawings they did. But yeah, like, otherwise it's, where's it at? They're still in course.
Yeah.
I mean, remember when they announced, they said their beta was in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And that was 6 months ago.
What's going to come first, Infinite Arms or Thrillipede? Tashmon goes on to say, "The reason I wrote this email, though, was to address some hilarious irony on the parts of Skylanders fans. These same people who would rush to defend the game to any Spyro Crash fan are now turning around and judging this game purely on the basis of, quote, it's a Skylanders ripoff. We as a fan base should know better. Just because it's Toys to Life does not automatically make it a ripoff of Skylanders. As someone who is taking a marketing class right now, competition is key to success. You don't have to love it or embrace it like Jason and I are, but come on. Don't be like Skylanders haters. Just give it a chance. I hope this game delivers on its high expectations from me. I know I'll be collecting a whole bunch of merchandise. Yeah, and that's exactly what we were saying. Just you can't bash people who didn't like Skylanders and adamantly defend Skylanders from people who said, oh, they're stealing from Spyro and blah 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 blah, then turn around and be mad at another game for doing what Skylanders did but better. So right. Final email. This is from Different Kind of Geek. It says, hello Josh and Jason. It's been quite a while since I sent you guys an email, but rest assured, I've been reliably listening to the best Toys to Life podcast around. I figured now would be a better time than ever to make my email revival than with the exciting news of a brand new game in the Toys to Life genre. But before I get into that, I neglected to share my thoughts on the recent Amiibo announcements with you last week. So, those new Legend of Zelda Amiibo look absolutely fantastic. I'm in love. The Ocarina of Time Link looks amazing, as well as the fact that Nintendo nailed the Wind Waker, Link, and Zelda. Yarn Poochie looks great, and I'm interested to see those Animal Crossing Amiibo cards. Different Kind of Geek, don't lie to yourself. You're not excited about the Animal Crossing cards. I appreciate you throwing that in, but don't lie. Just be real with us.
Just be real.
Anyway, he says, with that out of the way, it's time to gush about Lightseekers. Oh boy, was this an unexpected but amazing. These developers seem very passionate and dedicated to this game, as well as totally know what we in the Toys to Life community want. For instance, the Lightseeker cards work as in-game as well as function as a real-life card game, which was a complaint Jason had about Battlecast a few episodes back. I also love the usage of AR, or augmented reality, with the cards. And of course, who could forget the big kahuna, the figures! These new toys are setting the bar for the Toys to Life genre. These things are super detailed as well as articulated, and you can swap items and abilities. It's a dream come true. The Lightseekers team certainly has a grand idea and the passion to back it, so I'm thoroughly excited to learn more about Lightseekers. Well, that's all this week for you guys. I know I say it a lot, but thank you again for all the time and effort you put into making the best community ever. See ya.
Yeah, I mean, that's agree 100%. I mean, even at the end of the day, if you are still that staunch in saying that they're copying Skylanders, you have to admit that at least from a outside of gameplay perspective, they're doing everything better than Skylanders. So if you want to copy it and do it better, power to them,
And I will say this, I know there is some hesitation on many people out there to fully dive into this because it's a mobile game, for iPads and phones and whatnot. If the launch of this goes well, I 100% expect it to be on consoles.
Yeah.
So it's not going to stay strictly a mobile game. I guarantee it.
It's easiest right now development cost is cheapest on mobile.
Yep.
Than a console.
Yep.
So especially on a new company, it's easier for them to start there than switch over to mobile.
And they have the option to put out, the free-to-play model. So that immediately gets people knowing the brand. Brand recognition is so important. People remember it. So if they want to do a full-fledged console game experience, people will already be like, oh, I already played this on mobile. Now I'm getting like the beefier big brother of this game. So...
Right. I mean, even think, something like Mitomo, everybody's just curious what it was, took 2 seconds to click the link, download it, and come back later. If it was console, you have to schedule to your home system, go up, probably forget about it. I mean, I schedule so many demos to my console and just never even play them,
Absolutely.
So, it totally makes sense, like I said. And then if it's on the PC and stuff like that, that makes it a huge market as well, so we'll see what happens.
Yep, it's 100% just to get the name out there and get people talking about it, so...
Yeah, but, I mean, that's what... If it's available on Mac or PC eventually, and also obviously still on mobile platforms, and I can just choose how I want to play, that'd be fan-freaking-tastic.
Yep. Lots of things to be excited about, Jason. But I think that's where we're going to end the show here.
Sounds like a plan.
We've covered a lot this episode 88, creeping dangerously close to episode 100. We have zero plans for that. As you expect, we are well planned for everything we do. I will say, beginning of November will be the charity event, Extra Life stream.
Yes.
So that'll be happening. So we got things in the pipeline coming. I got a trip to Disneyland to go see good friend Brett, no, I told you this, Jason, off air, but I'm going to call Brett out right now. Brett sent me an invite on Facebook to play Candy Crush. Of all the things I want to do on my phone with my precious time, Candy Crush is near the bottom of that. So, Brett, you're a good friend, and I appreciate everything that you do for us, but never send me another Candy Crush invite again, because that is walking that tightrope dangerously close to getting the ban button. So, with the quickness, I will block you. Candy Crush, get out of here, Brett. Get out. Brett, there's so many other good things you could be playing on your phone than Candy Crush. You're better than that, Brett.
You're better than that, Brett.
Jason, where can people find you on the internet and such?
You can always follow me personally on Twitter, twitter.com/JasonInquires. And obviously that's on Instagram, YouTube, and other social media accounts. And then obviously you can head to the Toys Likes and Trick accounts at Brick Inquirer, Skylanders Inquirer, Infinity Inquirer, and of course the new one, Lightseekers Inquirer. That's Lightseekers INQ there on Twitter.
I'm your first follower.
Look at that.
Yeah. Why not? Made
Why
sense. Not? You can follow me personally on Twitter at The Noise with a Y. Follow the show on Twitter at Toys for Games. You could email us, podcast@toysforgames.com. Check out everything going on the website and everything within the Toys for Games network, which includes the Joys of Games podcast, the Tales from Godric's Hollow podcast we just recorded last night. We talked about the movie for the first book. That was fun and exciting. We have the Gotta Watch 'Em All podcast, Ken and his wife talking about Pokemon, all things Pokemon. We have the Triple P podcast, Pops, Pinfalls, and Payoffs. It's a pro wrestling podcast I do with Big Mike. Lots of things going on. So all that good stuff can be found over at the website, toysforgames.com. Be sure to join the Facebook group and join in on the discussion, facebook.com/groups/toysforgames. And if you would like to support us and what we do and everything that we do for the community, you can do so over on Patreon, patreon.com/toysforgames. That being said, Jason, man, it's good to have you back, my friend.
Appreciate being back. It's good fun.
Yeah. I'm sure I'll talk to you before you leave for the weekend, but I hope you have a great weekend. You'll be at Penn State this weekend?
Just Saturday and then coming back Sunday.
Okay.
Coming back Saturday night.
Oh, day trip, huh?
Yeah, helping the parentals move on Sunday.
Sounds fun.
Supposed to be an 89% chance of rain, so I don't think it's going to happen.
That's perfect.
Which means I'm going to be kicking up watching the NFL Red Zone all freaking day.
Might as well.
Love it.
Falls
back. Get on the Wentz wagon, baby. Wentz wagon.
The Browns have this unique ability to make any quarterback look amazing.
Wentz wagon. I'm just saying. Rams select number 1 overall pick. Dude's not even dressed.
That's the Rams' fault. I think he's ready. Look, I've been playing Madden. I am playing my season with the Rams. Goff is throwing 4 to 5 touchdowns a game. Sure, he has a few interceptions every game, but the man is a touchdown machine. I know he's ready. Madden says he's ready. The Rams, they have no faith. Why can't they be like the Eagles and just be like, what do we got to lose?
Caution to win, man.
I mean, Wentz was number 2 pick, right?
Yep.
They don't care.
And the Browns signed RG3. And then like, we don't need a number 2 pick. Ain't no QB's worth top 20 pick. Traded the Eagles. Eagles signed Wentz and then destroyed them on Sunday. Wow, this is not funny, but freaking RG3 can't catch a break. Somebody on Twitter, I can't remember who it is. Somebody tweeted at me, they're like, or he catches all the breaks. It was like, is that too soon? I was like, Chris Goldstein, that's what it was.
Yeah.
I was like, shit, wait.
Poor RG3.
But Browns are not. Here's the thing. Browns are not. They're still a professional NFL football team.
Yep, 100%.
At the end of the day, there's this thing. There is no such thing as an upset in the NFL. There is not such a thing as an upset in the NFL.
Especially in week 1, when everybody is still potentially in the running to go to the Super Bowl.
Gotcha. Yeah. And so, like, even if a team went 0-16 and they beat a 16-0 team, that's not an upset.
No.
That's just they played that day. You know, freaking NFL.
Yep.
But, yeah. So, yes, they had the worst ranked defense in the year, blah, blah, blah. But there's stuff that they do. Doesn't matter what defense it is. When you make certain passes at certain spots, you know. But he still has a little bit of slow reaction time. But I'm excited. Number 1 selling jersey this week.
The future is bright in Philly.
Yeah.
And that number 1 doesn't get said very often.
Right. Carson Wentz.
Meanwhile, Rams' number 1 overall pick is sitting on the bench watching.
The best tweet I saw was that it's too bad Hard Knocks is over, because this week would be hilarious. After this week's game was so bad.
The streaker that ran onto the field had more offense than the Rams.
Oh my gosh. If you haven't, go to Deadspin, listen to the audio commentary of the streak, because typically most media guys, like, they don't, that's why TV, they don't mention it. On radio, they make fun of the person or move on just because they don't want to give notoriety to it, to endorse other people doing it. But the radio caller is bored out of his freaking mind with how awful that game was. Just decided to call it like it's a full play, and it's so good. Oh my gosh.
I believe he actually said this is the most interesting thing that's happened in this game so far. Which
he's like 87-30, 25-20. Oh my god.
Yeah, so good, so good. Football's back. It's enjoyable. It's fall is here. New releases pretty much every week up until like Christmas. A lot of video games, a lot of good stuff. Lego Dimensions in 2 weeks. Holy cow.
Yeah, and it's like it's funny with the NFL, like that last Thursday game was freaking it was better than the Super Bowl, and I was like, this NFL season's off great, so I was all excited for this week. Thursday night, Jets and Bills. Yeah, pass. Hard pass.
Sorry, Bills. Jets.
See, Tyrod Taylor has like a car commercial contract.
Really?
He was in an ad. Yeah, I'm like, what? That's random.
In like just the Buffalo area, or
no, here. Like I saw it on my TV.
Huh. That's
like
strange.
it's like, was it Mazda or somebody? I don't really know, but it was like, it's him just chucking, like, playing catch per se, where he throw a ball and the guy would drive a car and like catch it out the window and stuff.
Sure.
It's just weird. I'm like, it's a random athlete to get a. But assume they must have gotten a good deal on it. So
he probably did.
His asking price is not very high.
No. He has to take what he could get. So. That being said, Jason, have a great weekend. Hope everybody out there listening has a great rest of their week. Again, it's nice to be back with Jason. We'll be back next week, I'm sure, to talk about something, whatever happens in the next week or so. We'll be covering it as always. But until next time, happy hunting, collectors.